From sandy cheeks eating feel-good endorphins for breakfast.
Nothing like a refreshing morning dip, huh, SpongeBob?
To Squidward, who is one step away from lamenting himself to death.
Time to face facts. I'll never have a happiest memory.
Who's really the saddest critter in Bikini Bottom? I know you want to know the answer to this question. Today we'll be ranking them on our handy-dandy scale here to find out who's the happy chappy, who's just hanging in there, and who's so severely depressed that not even like a lifetime of free Krabby Patties can get them out of their rut. Starting with our favorite pineapple homeowner, SpongeBob. This little sponge is a happy-go-lucky fella with a relatively balanced life. He has a job that he enjoys and he's pretty dang good at.
This will be a special delivery from the chef for your dining pleasure. 2 double Krabby Patties cooked to perfection, complemented by a side of coral bits and a jumbo diet soda, topped off with a little extra love.
He's got a best friend, also his neighbor, shares the same, jovial vibe.
Would you like another spot of tea, Ms. Nibsy? Oh, you would?
Chamomile!
Lovable pet snail who endures him because they truly care about each other.
Gary! So, did you hear any of that, or do I have to repeat myself?
And he has dreams and goals, the main one being to one day get his driver's license. And even though he has so far failed to get it every single time, it doesn't get him down because this yellow goofball just don't quit.
600. You need 600 to pass.
Don't worry. I'll be all right, Mrs. Puff. This means I get to be in your class for a whole nother year!
Given the chance, SpongeBob can pull a silver lining out of a giant heap of whale dung. His sunny disposition just allows it. However, there have been times when SpongeBob has been down to the dumps or just plain sad. Like in the very first scene of the episode, A Flea in Her Dome.
There, SpongeBob.
Yes, there is, Patrick. Sandy's been gone for 2 whole days.
For the 2 whole days? That's nothing, actually. It could hint at some codependency issues going on here. That's how good SpongeBob's life is. That he's super sad when one of his besties goes to a science convention for 2 days. Or when his pet snail Gary disappears for a while because SpongeBob forgot to feed him.
Pet, you're my best friend, too cool to forget. Come back, 'cause we are family. And forgive me for making you wanna roam. And now my heart is beating like the saddest metronome. Somewhere I hope.
SpongeBob actually cries a lot, as illustrated in the episode A Day Without Tears, where he sobs after stubbing his toe, bawls after ripping his favorite shirt, and ugly cries when he turns on the radio.
Next up is Lionel Fishy with his hit, Sad Song.
I mean, relatable, because these are all normal, sad, and often painful situations, like that toe thing. There's nothing strange or excessive about SpongeBob's bouts of sadness in these examples. In fact, these reactions are healthy because crying can release chemicals in your brain to make you feel better. But to best understand why SpongeBob's emotional regulation is in such good shape, I'm going to briefly show you the episode Grandma's Kisses. In this episode, SpongeBob visits his grandma, whom he loves very much, but when she drops him off at work, something significant happens.
SpongeBob, you forgot your kissy.
Bye, Grandma. Thanks for the ride.
Oh, brother.
The bullying soon commences, with all the patrons calling him a big baby who still gets kisses from Grandma. SpongeBob doesn't get why this is weird, but he hates that everyone's making a big deal about it. Even Patrick, of all people, thinks SpongeBob should man up.
You're a man now, SpongeBob.
Yeah! Oh.
Allow me to demonstrate. Now say tax exemption.
Tax exemption.
Now that's depressing. Alas, off the two go to Grandma's house, where SpongeBob is about to tell her he's a grown man because he's wearing fake sideburns.
Sorry, Grandmother, but the kissing has to stop. He is right, Grandmother. Kisses are for babies. I have grown up. It is nature's way.
Oh, you are absolutely right.
Honestly, it's a little sweet. And he has to watch as Patrick gets Grandma's special treatment while he wears that silly little hat like a silly little man.
Oh, SpongeBob, you wouldn't be interested in this baby book. Here's the technical manual on routine active maintenance.
Oh, great.
Grandma sure has his number, and SpongeBob gets more and more miserable as she treats him more and more like an adult until he finally loses it.
I want cookies and Milky. Underwear tiny.
Oh yes, your classic tantrum-induced mental breakdown. SpongeBob cries so much he almost drowns himself in his own tears and floods Grandma's house because apparently that's possible. Luckily, Grandma's here.
You don't have to be a baby to get old Grandma's love. And remember, you can kiss your grandma and still be an adult.
That's right, but here's the thing. SpongeBob didn't have a breakdown because he couldn't get cookies or whatever. He cracked because he had to suppress his true, authentic self, which is Grandma's little spongy who cries when something sad happens. And hiding who he truly is just not the style of our cheery SpongeBob McSquarepants. He's all for staying true to himself, which is regarded by psychologists as a good practice in the pursuit of mental well-being. So on the 0 to 10 depression scale, I'm putting SpongeBob at the happy end with a rating of 1. Not a 0 though, because there's still that worrying matter of the whole codependency thing. It's not as bad as his good old friend Patrick, who's very much like SpongeBob, albeit with way more issues. Patrick's star is many things. Loyal, goofy, naive, and a whole lot of dumb. On top of that, his emotional intelligence seems to be pretty underdeveloped. I mean, who bursts out crying for wanting to eat a donut?
Go on and eat it. What are you waiting for?
Don't do it! It's SpongeBob's donut.
Don't listen to him. He's covered with sprinkles.
I hate conflict!
Yeah, you don't say. And look what happens when he hears the random ringing of a bell. What? Patrick explains this bizarre reaction away by saying his parents used to Pavlov's dog him into taking a bath, only instead of subduing him, it caused him to throw a tantrum. Now, that might make some kind of sense, I guess.
We never rang a bell.
Yeah, never. We would squeeze your rubber duck. My rubber duck. I wonder if it still quacks.
There he goes again. All this points to the fact that Patrick struggles deeply with anxiety and emotional regulation, a mental health condition that often goes hand in hand with depression. But to understand Patrick's mental development better, we should remember that his parents weren't really around when he was young and that his sister basically raised him. But,
Nobody does. I lost her in the surf when we were kids. Sam took care of me when I was just nursing on Coral Rock.
yeah, that's some trauma right there, and a double dose of abandonment issues that can cause emotional instability, clinginess, and dependency problems later down in life. This explains why Patrick can get pretty obsessive when it comes to his best friend. In Nature Pants, SpongeBob leaves Bikini Bottom to go live in the wild with the jellyfish because he somehow thinks that this will be a liberating experience. But his abandonment renders Patrick, well, completely psychotic.
If I can't have you as a friend, you're a trophy. I even picked out this nice job.
Seriously, the codependency here is bad, man. In fact, whenever Patrick becomes unhinged or finds himself on the brink of a meltdown, it usually is because of his relationship with SpongeBob. In Valentine's Day, he hears everyone thanking SpongeBob for their gifts and thinks he's getting nothing.
Patrick needs love too. Defy you, Heartman. Heart on stick must die.
To be this dependent on someone for your own happiness is just not healthy, man. But Patrick doesn't just want SpongeBob's constant love and approval. In the episode No Hat for Pat, Mr. Krabs hires Patrick to attract customers to the Krusty Krab because the starfish keeps humiliating himself.
Okay, boy, let her rip.
Hey, Hat Man, how you feeling after your first day on the job?
I feel like $1,000,000.
Patrick?
Yes, Patrick will physically hurt himself to get others' approval, and such an obsession is usually a sign of low self-esteem that often stems from trauma and childhood experiences. To bring this point home, hear how he reacts when SpongeBob wants to put a stop to Patrick's self-humiliation.
I don't understand. For years, people have been telling me, you're no good. Now I'm good! I don't want to go back to being no hat Patrick.
That is most definitely one depressed pink starfish, even though we mostly see Patrick having a good day rather than a bad one. So I'm going to put his rating in the sad and depressed column because in my humble opinion, he is one tantrum away from really sticking SpongeBob into a jar. Right, moving on to our other cheery Bikini Bottom resident, Miss Sandy Cheeks. Our Southern State scientist has got herself a good head on those squirrel shoulders. She's smart as a whip, good at whatever she's inventing at any given time, and physically fit and healthy, which is great for one's mental health.
Nothing like a refreshing morning dip, huh, SpongeBob?
If you say so, Sandy. But as active as she is, she can get a tad too extreme sometimes.
This one's gonna be fun. We just whack each other with these giant ear cleaners till one of us falls off. On your mark, get set, go!
Extreme, but also super competitive. Being into extreme sports like Sandy has been shown to help some people with their emotional regulation, but it can also lead to addiction and become a dangerous little game if it's connected to a person's self-worth. In Karate Island, SpongeBob is crowned king of karate, but he doesn't know he's actually being scammed into buying a condo. He thinks he's actually better at karate than Sandy, which obviously frustrates the living walnuts out of her.
SpongeBob, y'all are getting a bit wily.
Oh, do I detect a note of jealousy, Sandy? But who's being crowned king of karate? Not you.
I'm getting off this crazy train. Fresh.
But when SpongeBob realizes he's in trouble and needs Sandy's help, she doesn't let her anger get the best of her, even though she kinda wants to.
SpongeBob's in trouble. SpongeBob is the king of karate. He doesn't need me. He can handle this himself. Hold on, buddy.
Nah, Sandy's a good squirrel friend, and the only time we see her down in the dumps is in the Texas episode, when she's having herself a little homesick day.
Oh, SpongeBob, I'm just not feeling up to karate right now.
Surf's up, Sandy.
No thanks.
Boy, there's nothing like going jellyfishing.
Yep, Sandy's having herself a case of the blues, y'all, and SpongeBob and Patrick aren't helping her feel better at all.
Fly away, little critter.
Go on, go back home where you belong. Do as much as you miss them. Hurry, before they forget you and leave you behind.
Yeah, she's feeling all the feels, and no matter how her friends try and cheer her up, it's just making her feel worse. So she decides that it's time to go back to Texas, home with the cows and the boys and the whatnot. But SpongeBob is hell-bent on getting her to stay, so they come up with a plan that involves insulting the great state of Texas.
Hey, Patrick, what am I now?
Stupid?
No, I'm Texas.
Y'all best apologize, or I'm gonna be on you like ugly on an ape.
You'll have to catch us first.
The livid Sandy chases them all the way to the Krusty Krab, where a surprise is waiting for her.
No! Howdy, y'all! It's a party.
For me?
It's your own little slice of Texas.
Aw, they try to make everything all Texas. Sandy's overwhelmed, but this time she's shedding tears of joy.
I appreciate what y'all are trying to do, SpongeBob, but home isn't about barbecues and pecan pies. Huh? Duh. What am I doing? I've been home all along, and it took me till just now to realize it.
Don't be so hard on yourself, Sans. It really only took you like 10 minutes. Our squirrel girl is of good mental health, and if you ask me, she's the happiest, most well-adjusted character in the entire series. From a jolly squirrel to a not-so-jolly crustacean, it's time to check out Mr. Krabs. Eugene Harold Krabs is, in short, a lot. He's greedy, cheap, and he treats money better than he treats actual living beings around him.
If you had to choose between SpongeBob, which would you take?
It depends. How much money are we talking about?
Mr. Krabs!
Yeah, he's like that. The only thing that seems to trump his love for hoarding money is the love he has for his daughter Pearl, sometimes.
You got me everything I wanted.
You're a good dad, Mr. Krabs.
Sure, but on the inside, he's fuming about all that money spent. Also, yes, Pearl is a whale, but we're not addressing that obvious and humongous question mark today. Anyway, Krabs is so obsessed with money that he literally tries to talk to it in the episode Money Talks.
Ooh, yeah, eat, spay, eat, pay, at Being too hard on the little guy. You can talk to me. I'm your friend.
Jeez Louise, this is a severe case of I don't even know what. Oh, and look who shows up again to help Krabs make his greedy wishes come true.
I'll grant your wish.
Yeah, my immortal soul. I've heard that speech before.
What do you want?
Yeah, Krabs has made many of these deals before, so you'd think that he'd know what's coming to him, but no. The money starts talking to him all right, but they sure ain't saying the things he wants to hear.
Why don't you ask what would make us happy and us?
What?
Well, money. It's in our nature.
I always wanted to be spent on a fairy princess outfit.
I want to be spent on corn dogs.
I want to be spent on diapers.
Turns out the money wants the exact opposite of what Krabs wants, and they're not going to let up, now that they have the power of speech.
Ah, you're all shallow and self-absorbed. What did I ever see in you?
Maybe time to look in the mirror, old Krabs. His greedy nature inevitably evolves into paranoia as he's constantly waiting for the scheming Plankton from next door to come and steal his secret Krabby Patty recipe. In Plankton paranoia, Krabs readies himself and his crew for Plankton's daily attempt at doing just that, but Plankton never shows up.
Maybe he's on vacation.
Don't be silly. Keep an eye on each other. These customers are blocking the way. There we go. Nice open path.
Well, seems like Pearl isn't the only one he cares about more than money. Seriously, Krabs is so adamant for Plankton to show up that he tries to lure him through all kinds of tricks, but no dice. The green critter is nowhere to be seen, driving Krabs to full-on paranoia mode as he bans anyone from eating a Krabby Patty anywhere other than inside his establishment.
Whoa, hey, slow it down there, Grandpa. Let's just see here. You're banned!
Poor Gramps, even the baby gets banned, along with pretty much all of his customers and his employees. Krabs eventually starts hallucinating, seeing Plankton everywhere, and I mean everywhere.
Starting to see things.
Yep, Krabs has completely lost his marbles, and according to the experts, he's now displaying signs of psychotic depression that can be brought on by financial stress. When Krabs spots everyone sneaking into the chum bucket, he immediately falls into a deep bout of depression.
Everyone really is out to get you. Aren't they, me little formula?
It's sort of short-lived, however, because SpongeBob shows up and lures Krabs over to the chum bucket where Plankton has supposedly kidnapped Squidward. Krabs thinks he's got Plankton now, but...
How about now? Oh, come, Krabs. It's the anniversary of the first time I tried to steal your Krabby Patty formula.
Dear golly goober, these characters have weird relationships. Anyway, it all ends with Krabs blowing up Plankton by pretending to leave the secret recipe behind. This obsessive behavior is definitely not that of a happy man, and a lot of this has to do with his past experience with Plankton that we learned about in the episode Friend or Foe.
There was a time when Plankton and I were best friends. Friends at birth, you might say.
Goo.
Cute. These two celebrated birthdays together and even went to the same school.
Hey, Frankie, what you doing?
Idiots! I'll show you with science!
Oh, and they shared the same bullies, too.
Hey, barnacle brains, I think you owe Plankton and a putter.
Sorry you have to hang out with Rag Boy.
Yeah, where'd you do your clothes shopping, the trash can?
Yeah, so it turns out Krabs grew up poor, which totally explains why he's so obsessed with hoarding money now.
I plotted a revenge and met the love of me life. It's the most beautiful thing me eyes have ever seen. Money!
And so begins Krabs' lifelong obsession. The first thing he bought with his first ever money was a balloon for his pal Plankton. Aww. Anyway, Krabs now wants to make all the money in the world, and Plankton wants to get his revenge for being bullied. They conclude that this means making barely edible burgers and selling them to their peers.
Look at them, Eugene, feasting on my recipe.
I thought it was our recipe.
Soon I will be ruling their minds.
Yes, another case of a failed joint venture due to creative differences, and of course, Krabs is the one who ended up with the secret recipe.
Burgers aren't for ruling worlds!
I'm terribly sorry, Eugene. Maybe stand on the tile in front of you.
You know the rest. Of course, Plankton has his own version of events, but we'll get to his mental issues later. In the end, however, it becomes clear that Krabs has a deep sadness over his feud with Plankton.
You were my only true friend that didn't have a president printed on him.
My life has been nothing but a long line of disappointment since we became enemies.
This would be such a sweet moment if it wasn't a big fat lie, because Plankton only said those things to try and steal the recipe. Krabs, however, was genuine here, which means he's been living a life of sadness, missing his old pal. With all that considered, I'm putting Krabs smack bang in the middle of the scale because he's just hanging in there and might be one Plankton prank away from another psychotic break. Now over to Bikini Bottom's famous semi-retired superhero duo, it's Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. These two old geezers are the Batman and Robin / Aquaman and Aqualad of the SpongeBob universe, even though their actual characters have been retired since they don't want to replace the original voice actors after their passing. Rest in peace and mad respect. But that means that these days they really just show up as toys or decorations in the show itself. When they were more around, they were the bee's old knees, and SpongeBob and Patrick were their biggest fans.
Try not to surprise them. Hey, Who are those guys?
Are they here to fix the TV?
Doubtful, brother. Barnacle Boy tells them that they're retired now and don't go by their names anymore, to which SpongeBob replies,
But you can't retire. There's evil afoot.
Now look at old poor Mermaid Man's reaction to the word evil.
Evil! Barnacle Boy! Go quick, I got the evil!
That right there is the response of someone with severe anxiety, maybe even PTSD. I'm pretty sure Mermaid Man suffers from that, which includes symptoms like intense reactions to triggers, always being alert to possible danger, and memory problems. Case in point.
Hey, Mermaid Man!
What do you want from us?
Stay alert, Barnacle Boy. He's up to something.
Will you stop calling me boy?
But I mentioned the PTSD symptoms of avoidance and also struggling to concentrate.
Listen up, you villains. I want to eat my meatloaf.
What is going on in here?
You may kiss the bride.
Yeah, Mermaid Man is a classic case of someone not coping with what can probably be described as compounded trauma. Because let's face it, superheroes encounter a lot of traumatic events.
Fracturing furniture. Hang tight, buddy.
Your darling deputy is napping right now.
Sweet Vic, that'll mess a guy up for sure. Not to mention the fact that he got his superpowers by almost drowning.
Help! Help! Oxygen! Fast! But before I drowned, I was rescued by mermaids.
A near-death experience can be pretty dang traumatic, and that, according to him, is how he got that starfish on his face to help him breathe underwater. Unfortunately, it also kept him stuck underwater. As for Barnacle Boy, he has a different kind of depression. According to him, Mermaid Man was the cause of him getting stuck underwater because someone got lonely living under the sea.
I had no other humans to talk to. Then my question was answered.
Sidebar, if this is reminding you of that weird Passengers movie with Lawrence and Pratt, you're not alone.
Hey, Barnacle Boy, make sure you scrape the barnacles underneath, too.
A boy in trouble. I gotta act fast or he'll drown. Fear not, young man. I'll take care of this.
Because instead of helping him, Mermaid Man shot all those barnacles into his body to replace his lungs so he could breathe and be stuck down there alongside Sea Ken. That would shortly cause some resentment over time, and it's not the only resentment Barnacle Boy's been carrying around because, you know, he's the sidekick.
Who's laughing now, thieving scum?
You can thank me, Mermaid Man.
This is how villains are made, you know. Of course, just like with crabs and plankton, it turns out that both their versions of how they got stuck underwater were wrong. They actually got their powers by eating radioactive popcorn. But again, it doesn't really matter because that's how they remember it. And those memories have caused a lot of unhappiness for Barnacle Boy. That and being constantly treated like a young boy when he's like only 2 years younger than Mermaid Man.
Make sure you give extra broccoli to my young ward.
Here you go, son.
That's enough out of you, fish nurse. This treatment isn't just confined to the retirement home either.
One Krabby Patty for me and a Pipsqueak Patty for the boy.
I don't want a pipsqueak patty. I want an adult-sized Krabby Patty.
You'll never finish it.
Taking this kind of crap from your partner is one thing. Taking it from everyone else is another.
The boy's eyes are bigger than his stomach.
I'm not a boy. I'm so old I got hairs growing out of the wrinkles on my liver spots. One pipsqueak patty.
A laugh is a laugh, but an old geezer can only take so many jokes, and Barnacle Boy has had it.
I'm tired of playing second banana to a man who wears a bra. I want to be called Barnacle Man.
Oh, he's mad all right. So mad, in fact, that he decides to cross over to the dark side and inflict pain upon his once partner and pal.
A double scoop of prune with bran sprinkles.
You might as well give up, Mermaid Man. There's 3 of us and only 1 of you. You don't stand a chance.
Barnacle Boy clearly has a lot of unresolved resentment he's dealing with. Of course, we know they eventually end up back together as a super duo that they are, and that's great because having a purpose can be really good for one's mental well-being. As long as that purpose doesn't cause you more stress, which, given their profession, there's 0 chance of. I'm putting both their ratings in the sad column because one more utterance of the word evil and one more boy joke, and these two might fall either into a deep depression or turn into Murder Man and Barnfire Boy. Let's now take a look at Mr. Krabs' daughter, Pearl, who, in case you've forgotten, is a whale. And a big happy whale at that. Pearl is usually very cheery, except when she's not.
Pearl, come back!
Yeah, Pearl cries a lot, which isn't uncommon for a teenage girl, but also she cries a lot. And most of the time it's due to her father being such a huge misser, especially on her birthdays.
Hi, girls! Are you guys coming to my totally coral birthday party tomorrow?
Is this gonna be as totally cool as last year when your dad passed out paper clips as party favors?
Remember the time we all had to share one balloon?
In birthday land, that might be construed as child abuse. Pearl clearly struggles with a dad who's a giant cheapskate. Not having a mom around can't be easy either. That and you know she gets bummed about being a teenager and with normal teenage stuff. In Bossy Boots, she takes over the Krusty Krab for the summer holiday, changes the name to the Cuddly Crab, and serves nothing but salad. But she does all that because she just doesn't want to be there.
No, don't you get it? I've been trying to get fired since day one. This job is cutting majorly into my social life. Oh, SpongeBob, what should I do?
Oh yes, the absolute torturous life of wanting to please daddy and sacrificing your social life to do so. These are the things that make Pearl miserable, and again, they're pretty normal, but it does have an effect on her happiness level. Experts say that both social and family expectations can lead to teen depression. And let's face it, Pearl has both of those.
Pearl, over here.
Did you find a job?
Pearl, you cannot be serious. Old people are show.
While the level of intelligence on display is astounding, these girls are clearly mean girls. Like, this literally feels like the mall scenes from Mean Girls, only with old people jokes.
Hey, girls. I smell mothballs.
Isn't it your nap time, Pearl?
Where's your moo-moo, Granny?
Of course, this will upset any person, but just like SpongeBob, Pearl embraces her authenticity because she knows she's awesome, even if she's into old people things now.
We just, think it's weird that you're, a grandma now.
Well, I don't care what you think anymore anyway. I'm being true to myself, and that's all that matters.
That's right, Granny Pearl. But also she clearly needs to find new friends. You know, her people. Which she does, even though they're totally also like her high school pals.
Pearl! I want to go to the mall! Wait, what? You seriously don't know what a mall is?
I'm seriously serious.
Spoiler, they totally end up going to the mall, but that's still not really Pearl's crowd. They're more just like mall girls. Pearl finally finds a group of good friends in the episode A Cabin in the Kelp, in which she's invited on a trip with the gal pals.
Gal pals, and yes, we shall conquer the world one day. We're nosy, buddy, we're smart and funny, and we demand equal pay.
Gal pals, now that's more like it. Poor Pearl though, because when it comes to friends, you know it's slim pickings if you have to hang out with a computer. Anywho, I'm putting Pearl in the normal range because as emotional as our teen girl can be, she's doing just fine given that she's a giant whale living among the tiny little creatures of Bikini Bottom. Speaking of tiny, let's check in to see how Gary the snail is doing. Gary's a pretty special pet, and kudos to the little guy for putting up with an owner like SpongeBob who can be both clingy and also forget to feed him at the same time. But all that aside, Gary's also really chilled with his life. For one, SpongeBob may think Gary's miserable every time he has to go to work, but the snail's actually A-okay. Yep, Gary has no problem having himself some me time. That being said, the little pet does have his fair share of frustrations. In the episode Have You Seen This Snail, Gary is beyond frustrated that SpongeBob is spending more time trying to master paddleball than making sure his pet doesn't starve.
I'm sorry I can't play with you right now. Mermaid Man needs me.
Not cool, Sponge Dude. Poor Gary tries to meow his way into getting fed, but SpongeBob is being a real frick with that paddleball and refuses to give Gary the time of day, let alone food.
Hey, Dirty Bubble, say your prayers. Meow.
Man, that's just sad. What's even sadder is that it took more than a week for SpongeBob to finally remember that Gary needs food. And by then, Gary was long gone, in the middle of nowhere. The Sponge eventually realizes that he can't live without his beloved pet, and so he searches high and low, distributing missing flyers until Gary sees them and decides to return home because he truly loves the Sponge Man. Unfortunately, this wasn't the only time poor Gary wasn't being fed.
Your birthday, I should be serving you.
Oh, I know how much you love sweets.
Oh, hey, Fred, what's up?
Gary's asking so nicely. Shame on you, SpongeBob, shame. It must be so hard to try and communicate with a bozo like that, but in Chatterbox Gary, our favorite feline slug, finally gets a chance to do just that. And it ironically starts with SpongeBob thinking Gary wants food.
I know that, meow. That says I'm hungry. Lucky for you, I speak fluent snail. You're not hungry?
That's a negative, SpongeBob. Try again.
You wanna go for a walk? Okay, no walkies.
Come on, SpongeBob. He's so very clearly saying he wants you to buy a translation collar so you can understand what he's fracking saying. Anyway, Gary has his frustrations and irritations when it comes to his owner with the good intentions, and getting him that collar sure helped out a lot.
Hello there, Papa Bob.
I have so many questions.
Lay 'em on me, Papa Bob.
What do you dream about?
I breathe fiery destruction upon my enemies.
Finally, our little trapped-in-a-shell guy can talk about his innermost feelings of death and destruction. Get those frustrations out, Snail Kitty. Overall, Gary is as happy as any cat snail can be while having to deal with a buffoon for an owner. And by happy, I mean barely that, especially given how much he just loves bath time.
Get in the tub! Tub! In the tub!
Or how much he loves competing in pet shows.
Good spacing on the larynx. Nice gastric chamber.
It's in the bag.
Or how much he loves SpongeBob bringing home random creatures and calling them pets.
Oh, hi, Gary. Are you ready to meet your new friend?
Something tells me they don't like each other.
No duh, Patrick. Oh, and remember Puffy Fluffy? Yeah, Gary's life can be pretty tough, but he's a resilient sea snail. So he goes into the lower end of sad and depressed. A lot will probably improve for him if he can finally stop begging for food. Keeping up with the little guys, let's move on to Krabs' childhood friend turned nemesis, Sheldon J. Plankton. Plankton's biggest mission in life is to be more successful than his former pal at the food joint industry and exact his revenge on anyone who's ever wronged him, and he'll do some pretty devious deeds to get what he wants. In fear of the Krabby Patty, he puts up a sign saying that the Chum Bucket will now open 23 hours a day, prompting Mr. Krabs to push his hours to 24.
Employees into the ground, and I'll get them to tell me the secret Krabby Patty formula.
Yeah, that's not the laugh of a happy little Plankton. He's also being an absolute clueless little Plankton, because doesn't he know SpongeBob actually loves his job?
We get to keep working and working and working without ever having to go home, because I must be dreaming.
And no, he's not doing some kind of sarcastic Deadpool bit, so when Plankton puts in a prank call for 10,000 Krabby Patties, the Sponge Man is super hyped. However, by day 43...
What the flim-flam? You're wasting all my food!
Oh, hey, Mr. Krabs. When did you get in here?
Yeah, that's bad. And neither Mr. K nor Plankton apparently give a rat's hoot that they're slowly killing SpongeBob and committing both culpable homicide as well as a ton of health and workers' safety violations. Okay, maybe Krabs cares a little because he suggests SpongeBob see a head doctor even though what he really needs is some fracking sleep. Enter Plankton disguised as a tiny little Freud.
I want you to close your eyes. Now tell me what you see.
Giant Krabby Patties!
Good! And what are they made of? Oh, I mean ingredients. What are the stinking ingredients?
They're back!
Wait, where'd you get that piano?
He had it coming, pure and simple, but he still doesn't quit. And that's because Plankton is 100% obsessed, and it all stems back to that flashback of him and Krabs fighting over their first burger joint. You see, while Krabs remembers it as Plankton going all rule the world crazy, Plankton remembers it like so.
We had created the tastiest burger.
Then, their money!
And Plankton's response here was apparently exactly the same thing Krabs said.
But what about satisfying the customers?
Barnacles to the customers. Cash, wallets, bank accounts. And with this secret recipe, nothing will stop me!
Well, at least the first part was the same. According to Plankton, Krabs then shot him out of the window with a blowpipe and into a fish dump.
Huh? Our little squabble only got me part of the recipe.
And that's how he opened the Chum Bucket. But hold up, Karen Plankton barges in and accuses both numbnuts of lying because she was there and recorded everything. Dum dum dum.
Now that's a handsome-looking burger.
Attention! Do you think it was a good idea to open in the dump?
I mean, I was going to comment on that, but then I figured it's the ocean. There's probably fish poop floating around everywhere anyway. Whatever, don't matter. Anyway, the two spot Old Man Jenkins and ask him to try out their first ever burger.
Yay! Crab Patties KO Old Man J.
Talk about a burger with a kick. Having poisoned the poor guy, the two get into a heated argument about who put what and how much of it into that burger.
No way! That recipe's mine!
Stop! You wanna fight over this recipe? I'll give you a fight you'll never forget!
Now that's ruined.
Nope, turns out it wasn't. It was the perfect patty batter that would eventually become known as the Krabby Patty. As for Plankton, he had the chum bucket, and we know who won that fight. So yeah, this little C thing isn't a happy chap, but he's always way too egotistical to see how his choices are keeping him stuck in a perpetual loop of unhappiness. Ticks all the boxes of narcissism, grandiosity, a sense of entitlement, a lack of empathy, and exploiting relationships. And studies show that narcissists are prone to depression because they tend to struggle dealing with emotions. In my humble opinion, Plankton is definitely a depressed narcissist, as he spends most of his time in isolation justifying his obsessive behavior with a sense of superiority, not giving two chums about his actual restaurant or customers, and exploiting everyone, even his wife, to fulfill his own desires.
Another bag of chum. Ugh. Now to shape this into His Highness's dinner request up.
What's this supposed to be?
Chum seaweed, chum pot pie, chum con coral, and chum tea, also known as dinner.
Karen, your memory banks are gummed up again. I did not request chum pot pie. I requested chum stir fry.
Yeah, he's a sad little Plankton, and not in the normal sense, because the most depressed we've probably seen him was that time he couldn't try to steal the Krabby Patty recipe because he was scared of Pearl, who was a whale.
What's the point of going on? I'll just be tortured for the rest of my life by that whale. The 4:15 bus should be along any time now.
Yeah, so dramatic and so obsessive. I'm putting him at an 8 on the scale because he may not know it, but he really is one prank gone wrong away from not getting up when that bus comes. Technically, the smartest Bikini Bottom resident, Karen, the sentient supercomputer, can display emotion and affection, and she's even capable of crying actual tears.
I'm crying? What's going on? No, I'm just so happy. I'm crying with tears of joy.
Yeah, this is a good example of why computers probably shouldn't cry. Nevertheless, she can, and she can also express a range of emotions from disgust.
Dear Neptune Plankton!
The aroma you speak of, Karen, my computer wife, is the stench of failure.
Smells horrible. You're not coming in here smelling like that.
To anger-fueled frustration.
Oh, you selfish green twit. It's our wedding anniversary.
Oh, that.
To sadness and disappointment.
You forgot that I got you the perfect gift.
Plankton don't deserve you, Karen, because she really truly loves the little fricker in all his evil glory. In fact, when Plankton starts going all soft in Plankton's good eye after being infected by SpongeBob's DNA, she berates him for it.
Evil? Knievel! You're becoming as harmless as that fried cells from that sponge have changed your whole point of view.
And she's clearly not happy about it because this is not the Plankton she fell madly in love with. She wants him to succeed in his ultimate goal of stealing the Krabby Patty secret recipe, and it can be argued that it's probably because she's programmed like that, but what Karen really wants is for him to succeed so they can just have a normal frackin' marriage.
Ooh, hi, Plankton. I must have activated sleep mode. Oh, what a great idea this was, getting away from your usual shenanigans.
Karen has it rough, all right, because it can't be easy being married to someone who often disregards you or undermines everything you say and do.
Can't you see I'm exhausted? Why don't you go make yourself useful and synthesize me up some grub?
Yes, Your Majesty.
If I were Karen, I'd go full computer apocalypse on his Plankton behind, although Karen can totally give as good as she gets because these two become too comfortable in what some have referred to as a toxic relationship.
Curse you, Mr. Krabs!
So, typical day of failure, I see, huh, darling?
Oh, can it, computer wife?
I mean, she's not wrong, but it probably doesn't help smearing it in his face either. Then again, considering that Plankton basically cheated on her not once but twice, can anyone really blame her?
You've fallen in love with another woman?
You're a WIFE. Wired Integrated Female Electroencephalograph.
These two really have a terrible relationship, and Karen has tried walking out on him before.
It's words on paper. I just can't go into sleep mode at night knowing that you'll continue blaming me for all of your failures. Nice knowing you, Karen.
Which goes back to him in the end because they just can't quit each other. Even after Karen has a mental breakdown during their honeymoon because Plankton can't seem to put her above his Krabby Patty recipe obsession.
You have no choice but to turn up the settings on my vacation app.
That's right, Plankton's lack of affection and attention drove Karen homicidal. The poor computer may be suffering from relationship depression that can be caused by infidelity, betrayal, emotional or physical abuse, and repeated disappointment. Whichever way, she's definitely not on the happy side of the scale, so I'm putting her in the sad and depressed column. Moving on to someone who's been living a challenging life trying to help SpongeBob realize one of his dreams, I am of course talking about Bikini Bottom's most famous pufferfish, Mrs. Puff. She's kind, she's sweet, she's got a lot of patience when it comes to SpongeBob because he just can't pass his boating test and he keeps crashing into everything with the poor fish woman beside him.
No, don't floor it!
Okay, floor it!
No!
Oh, SpongeBob!
And it's not just his bad boating that causes her harm. He always seems to get her into trouble somehow. Like the time it was his turn to be the hall monitor at boating school, but instead he just went rogue, venturing into the city and wielding his hall monitor power, causing a massive traffic pileup.
I turn my back on you for 1 minute and you destroy half the city. Of course I do. I'm the one who gave him the uniform in the first place.
And for that, the poor woman got locked up for 6 months. In fact, Mrs. Puff gets arrested quite a lot. Yeah, her patience eventually starts to wear thin, which, you know, fair. Oh, and she also got arrested in doing time, where we got to see her battered mental state.
You can get through this without losing your sanity. Positives. Think of the positives. Phone solicitors. No more SpongeBob. No more SpongeBob. No more insurance payments. No more SpongeBob. No more SpongeBob. No more SpongeBob!
Yeah, SpongeBob drives her absolutely bonkers. No, like literally, because he and Patrick try to break her out of prison, causing her to think that she's going insane.
When are these horrific hallucinations going to end?
And of course, she's not the only one who thinks she's lost her sanity, and this is where she ends up.
Oh, well, let's look at the positives again. In my nice, soft room.
Made of sponge.
But wait, it turns out that she was imagining all of this as SpongeBob was about to crash them yet again, and imagining it again, and again, and again, and again. This kind of anxiety-fueled hallucinations can point to a severe depression that includes psychotic episodes. It should also be mentioned that on top of SpongeBob tormenting her, she also lost her husband in an absolute horrific way.
She doesn't like to talk about it.
Yeah, that is trauma right there, and one of the known causes of psychotic depression. So yeah, Mrs. Puff might be hallucinating the padded room scenario, but she might not be too far from one. I just hope for her sake it's not yellow. Given all this and Mrs. Puff's true state of mind, she's clearly in the severely depressed end of the scale. I just hope for her sake SpongeBob eventually passes that test. Now on to one very buff crustacean. Let's look at Larry the Lobster. I mean, just look at this guy. What a frackin' beefcake. Larry's all about keeping fit, living large, physically. Larry! He's a muscle machine, our Larry, but all that testosterone can make him prone to angry, violent outbursts, especially towards Squidward.
I love protein shakes. Give me my stupid protein shake.
In fairness, Squidward deserved that both times. But Larry can also get depressed, and the most depressed we see him is in the episode Larry's Gym, in which he opens up his own gym and buffs up SpongeBob but neglects his own fitness.
Larry? Gee, Larry, you've really let yourself go.
I haven't had any time to do my crunches. The only thing I've been crunching is numbers. But I'm gonna get back in shape, you'll see.
That's the spirit, Larry. No time like the present.
SpongeBob, tell me the truth. Do I have a pot belly?
No, Larry, don't be silly. You don't have a pot belly.
See you in exercise class, I guess.
And the spirit's dead. Larry is clearly caught in that loop of depression where the worse you feel, the less you want to do something about it because your energy gets sucked up by a vortex of darkness. And that is frackin' terrible because exercise releases endorphins, those magical chemicals that make you feel good. Larry is clearly suffering from a lack of those chemicals, and it plunges him into a fatigue-ridden depression.
What's the use? Ow!
Oh, he's in it all right. And he basically gives up, appointing SpongeBob as the new fitness guru of the gym.
You're a natural leader, SpongeBob. You should be in charge of the fun stuff while I sit here in the reception area slowly getting fatter and paler until I die.
But SpongeBob doesn't want to do any of that. He just wants to make Krabby Patties. And when Larry hugs him, his muscles are so strong that it seeps all the water out of SpongeBob because it turns out he wasn't buff. He was just overhydrated.
Larry, your brug was so super strong, it took the water muscles right out of me.
Don't say brug. SpongeBob laughing on my back was just what I needed. You're a pretty good instructor after all.
Listen, Larry's turnaround here is grossly oversimplified, but it captures in a nutshell what happens when a person has a lack of endorphins, is prone to depression, and gets stuck doing something that does not fulfill them. But luckily, Larry stays fit and active most of the time, so I'm putting him in the normal range, even though his mental state can switch from a 3 to a 9 if he misses 100 burpees a day. On we move to the crankiest old geezer in all of Bikini Bottom, someone I doubt you were expecting for me to talk about in this list. Old Man Jenkins. He can be rude.
I can't smell, but you two stink!
He can be stubborn.
I'll have me a rusty on rye, please. Stop giving me the runaround, city boy. I want a rusty on rye and nothing less.
And just a tiny bit insane.
King Neptune, feel my power. I'm not Old Man Jenkins anymore. I'm King Neptune. Take that!
Whatever you say, old coot. But all the old man's crankiness could be explained by how he's been treated over the years. Like that time Mr. K refused to pay him for the food he supplies to the Krusty Krab.
SpongeBob here will be your farmhand until me bill's paid off. Farmhand? Oh, boy! Nibbit, if you think you can... Oh, look at the time.
Or that time he accidentally flew away on his birthday and ended up living on a dump for a year because no one went to find him.
Oh, thank you, dear. Hello? Some help, please?
So now I gotta go back? I came all the way over here.
Come back.
Or maybe something cracked inside of him that time. Crabs and Plankton almost killed him.
You'd be the first to try our delicious burgers.
At least he has the farm to keep him busy, a job he clearly loves.
First thing we do is gather and perleate. The trick is getting them oysters to open up their clams.
Oh, shiny!
The next chore is to feed the wormhole.
Could somebody hand me those?
But that's pretty much the only time we see him being in his element. Most of the other times he's doing stuff like this.
I can't just let any darn fools work on my farm. Well, better hitch up your britches, 'cause we got tons of chores to get done before the big barn dance tonight.
Yeah, Old Man Jenkins is definitely on the senile side of things, and I sure wouldn't call him Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky. Look at him here.
He always has old and interesting smells. And his bones make such funny noises.
Apart from the fact that he has an old man's body and is basically living with chronic pain, he clearly doesn't care about personal hygiene either, which can be a sign of depression. So yeah, not the happiest Bikini Bottom resident at all, and he's going into the higher end of the sad and depressed column. Next up, the show's resident ghost. The Flying Dutchman can be a difficult guy. He has a malicious streak and a horrible temper.
I'm going to steal your soul. Quiet!
He's got that old man get off my lawn vibes.
Trying to get some sleep.
And he's in vain and petty, also very sensitive about his image.
People dressing like me. Turning the Flying Dutchman name into a laughing stock.
That's a very negative perspective you got there, Ghosty, but he's not a total lost soul. For one, he doesn't really seem to mind much being a ghost.
I haven't worn shoes for over 5,000 years.
I guess we've established he's more of a sock than a shoe guy. Then again, being a ghost who apparently has nothing else to do than scare folks doesn't sound like his dream come true either.
You're part of my crew now, and our job is to sail around and frighten people. It'll be grueling, mind-numbing, and repetitive. Just like daytime television.
The horror! So yeah, it doesn't really sound like Dutchie over here is exceptionally fond of his ghost job. That is until he gets to be cruel.
Dutchie's not gonna hurt you. Nothing better than giving a good scare.
Man alive, that is one twisted ghost pirate. But this scary routine of his is pretty much all he's got going for him, and without it, well, he kind of becomes a sad ghost pirate.
Why aren't you freaking out, lad?
Well, you've been here a while, and,
I know when I'm washed up. I've been doing the same material for years. It's time to give up the ghost. No pun intended.
Yep, take the scary shenanigans away, and he's just an old ghost guy, sad about his old ghost guy problems. Oh, and look, he's also letting himself go.
Dutchie, do you want to spend eternity on this couch? You're a ghost of your former self.
You're right, SpongeBob.
Yeah, he's going through a low moment, displaying feelings of self-loathing. That's a classic sign of depression. Lucky for Dutchie, SpongeBob's there to help him out of this funk because SpongeBob's scrappy like that.
You're back.
And me confidence, too. Now I feel like I could scare the living criminy out of anybody. All thanks to you, my boy.
I wouldn't worry about him too much, honestly, but I'll also not put him on the normal side of things because he's obviously not that. What Ghost would be, you know? So Dutchie gets a 5 for hanging in there for eternity. It's now time to look at the SpongeBob character we all know is a sad, depressed, downright miserable guy. Squidward Tentacles. This octopus is so averse to feeling anything good that receiving care and kindness literally makes him choke.
Order up! Go now.
Choking on sentiment.
Self-loathing, check. Not only that, but he can't fathom how anyone else would appreciate so much love and care being put into the preparation of their food.
Nothing beats making quality food for good people with discriminating tastes.
Good people?
Uh-huh.
Discriminating taste? Only pathetic losers with horrible taste would eat this garbage.
Negative outlook on the world, check. Squidward truly is the Wario to SpongeBob's Mario. Not that SpongeBob is wholly innocent, because he just can't seem to quit bothering Squiddy. Case in point, that episode where Gary can talk to everyone.
In order to achieve complete brainfulness, distractions are only in your mind. You are the center of the universe.
That's just rude enough to make anyone cranky. Then again, the fastest way to get Squidward out of his funk is to appeal to his ego. Because this octopus isn't simply a victim of depression, he is so much more than that. So when he learns that Gary has a sophisticated sense of taste...
And up here, you'll find my true masterworks.
The naive cephalopod style. Not very sophisticated.
And we're back to good old grumpy Squidward again. In fact, he's so livid by all the inconveniencing and the lack of ego stroking that he reckons SpongeBob should be just as miserable as he is. So he switches Gary's translator collar with a two-way radio.
Papa Bob.
I'm thirsty.
At this hour? All right, I'll get you some water.
Yes, Squidward's solution to dealing with the insufferable SpongeBob is to torture him right back deliberately. His coping mechanisms are clearly and completely broken. He's also pretty darn vain. In the Two Faces of Squidward episode, he gets a reconstructive surgery after SpongeBob accidentally bashed his face in with a door, and this is how he emerges from the lengthy operation.
People, I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. Strange as it seems, need my beauty sleep.
Yes, Squiddy has full-blown narcissistic tendencies, but it's not as straightforward as that, because he also has an incredible amount of anxiety, and having the public all up in his business is not going to fly for long.
SpongeBob! Like life ain't all it's cracked up to be. I want my old life back.
Yes, his miserable old life, which involves him having to keep on working at the Krusty Krab because for some reason he just can't quit and get a job elsewhere, even when he gets to play hooky for a day. His anxieties simply don't let him, as we see in Squid's day off.
Beautiful day of relaxing and pampering. Guess I do feel kind of bad for poor little SpongeBob.
He goes on to imagine SpongeBob with said stupid grin on his face, messing up the payment system and bankrupting the Krusty Krab.
I forgot to tell him how to make change! Oh! Sponge!
Naturally, he was worried over nothing, but Squidward keeps ruining his own off day because he can't stop imagining SpongeBob destroying the place somehow, even though it never happens.
No matter what sick fantasies run through my mind, I will not go back!
We all know he's going back to that restaurant, but what's clear here is that Squidward struggles with what I like to call worst-case scenario syndrome, or as the experts call it, catastrophizing, a common symptom of anxiety disorders and depression. And we can, of course, go ahead and check the obsessive-compulsion disorder box, too, because that is Squidward all over. Squiddy displays so many depression symptoms and disorders that he basically feels like a walk-and-talking version of the official mental disorders diagnostic manual. But to see Squidward at his lowest with his depression in full swing, we must turn to the infamous episode in Season 8, Are You Happy Now? The one in which Squidward realizes he doesn't have a happiest memory.
Squidward, you don't have a happiest memory?
I hear you crying all the time.
Oh, with joy, Squidward, with joy.
So just get back to your culinary grease factory and leave me alone.
Depression denial, check.
Hey, I'd like to order a Krabby Patty, please.
Uncontrollable crying, check. SpongeBob proposes he helps Squidward make a happiest memory, and the long-faced Squiddy is so down that he actually agrees to it. So SpongeBob takes him to a classical music concert because he knows Squidward loves music. Only...
This is not my happiest memory.
So not really a happy memory event, but more like that time I got a violin bow shot into my eye. Next, SpongeBob takes him to an art museum because Squidward loves art, but old sad sack don't see it that way.
Great. I get to see all the art of people who have succeeded.
Feeling like a failure, check. Loss of interest in something he once enjoyed, check. But then Squidward discovers that one of his art pieces is being displayed in the museum, and instead of questioning why the heck he didn't know about it, he instead starts feeling what resembles a sense of accomplishment, only to get knocked down when a performance artist burns his sculpture like a fracking maniac. SpongeBob then tries a different approach and takes Squidward on a ride in a hot air balloon, but little does old Spongy know that...
Afraid of heights! Ow! Oh boy.
Triggering Squidward's severe anxiety aside, putting him through a traumatic and also near-death experience event is most definitely not going to help his depression, SpongeBob.
Time to face facts. I'll never have a happiest memory.
Feeling numb, check.
Oh, misery. Might as well go to bed for 100 years or so.
That covers isolation, lack of motivation, lack of energy, and struggling to get out of bed. Squidward is on a downward spiral here, and SpongeBob is really worried now. But as much as the yellow guy tries to talk to his sad pal, Squidward shuts him out completely. Eventually, old Squiddy is at the end of his rope, literally.
I can't seem to get happy.
Do I really need to tell you what that scene is implying? Anyway, SpongeBob manages to sneak himself into Squidward's home and kidnap him into a surprise party. Only no one could come, so it's a surprise party filled with SpongeBobs, and lots of them. Naturally, this pushes Squiddy over the edge, and he has an anger outburst like nobody's business. Okay, he went from angry to straight up mental, proclaiming his act of tearing up the dozens of SpongeBobs his happiest memory like a madman. SpongeBob clearly broke the guy, and it's a real miracle that Squidward's still around today, even though he's still clearly a deeply depressed but also severely broken dude.
Paint you? I'll paint you to oblivion! Painting, a painting, a painting! Here I go, a painting all the ding-dong day!
It should come as no surprise that Squidward's depression rating is literally off the scale. In fact, he might fall into an all-new category of mental disorders, given his many, many issues. And of all 14 characters I covered today, he is by far the most depressed, with Mrs. Puff ranking second and the diabolical Little Plankton coming in third. Hey, life can be tough at the bottom of the ocean, unless I guess you live in a pineapple under the sea. But listen, if you want more deep dives into the characters of Bikini Bottom, then check out this video and become a SpongeBob universe expert like me. But you should totally check it out nonetheless. And as always, guys, thank you for watching.